Hello, everyone. Today, my guest is Shivali Patel from Helium 10. And now we are going to talk about Helium 10 MCP, how it works, how you can connect it to AI, and how Amazon sellers can use it in practice.
Hi, guys. My name is Shivali, as Dana said, and I'm here to talk about something really exciting. For the last 5 to 6 years that I've been at Helium 10, and even before that, since I've been an Amazon seller, there's been so many different methods I've used to get the end goal done. And that's always different, right? For every seller, whether you're just getting started, maybe you're looking for a brand new product, or you've got quite a few ASINs and SKUs. You are going in and trying to optimize those listings. Maybe you want to clean up your ads, all your campaigns, and you've got plenty of campaigns. If you're like me, then you've got loads for every SKU. So being able to go in and refine all of those things, find new products quickly, time is money, right? And what we're going to be covering today is brand new. It's just launched. There's nothing like it in any of our tools. In fact, it's not even in our tools that you really access this. This is inside of any of the AI tools you guys have been using. I would love to hear if you have been using AI tools. So make sure that you guys drop it in the chat when you're watching this. If you're using a particular kind of software or a large learning model, right? And then whether or not you have already been using it for your business. With that, I've actually created some slides for a change. I'm always doing this really off the cuff. And today we're changing it up a little bit just so you guys have something to follow along and you can listen and you can, pause and rewatch this at any time. Let's run it through and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right here. Okay. All right. Hopefully you can see everything all right.
Yeah,
So
everything is
your
clear.
AI, you said what?
Yeah,
Good.
everything is clear. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, amazing. So your AI just got Helium 10 access. We're going to be talking a little bit through what the MCP really is. Maybe you have no idea what MCP means, how to connect it, and then some of the workflows that can pay for themselves, how you can begin to really implement this. This is hopefully easy enough to the point where you guys won't be learning multiple tools, trying to figure out, like, I don't really have time to be learning something new. It's okay. Just stay with me here. I promise by the end of this, within the next 30 minutes, in fact, you'll be able to understand how to use it and go ahead and play it all by yourself. Okay, so far, if you've been using AI, your AI's been guessing. You will go in, maybe put in some context. You'll give it maybe your websites if you've got an offline store or your Amazon listing, and then try to run it from there where you're saying, hey, this is what's going on in the space. These are my competitors, blah, 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 right? This is all without the MCP. So your AI is guessing based off web data, generic web data. You're exporting things in maybe. Maybe you're using it in conjunction with Helium 10. You've gone in and used something like Cerebro, which is our reverse keyword research tool, and you're copying and pasting those spreadsheets over, hoping the numbers are still current. With the MCP, this changes because your AI is now going to be able to read directly from your live keywords, your profits and ads data, and give you answers from your own account in seconds. This is not solely restricted to your ASINs. In fact, you can put in competitor ASINs and it'll even give you information about that competitor space. Helium 10 is the reason that answers will hold up compared to if you're not using something that's got this MCP. Why the answer holds up? Well, we are the deepest and most trusted data set in ecom. Perhaps some of you listening in are already Helium 10 users, but if you are not, for some context, Helium 10 is a software suite of tools, over 30 plus tools so far up until this MCP, which includes something for every leg of that selling journey for Amazon sellers, for TikTok sellers, as well as Walmart sellers. Meaning, if you're doing product research, we've got a tool that pulls from over 2 billion data points on Amazon. And Cerebro and Magnet, some of our keyword research tools, they're built on the back of Amazon's algorithm when they made it public. So everything that you usually have access to inside of Helium 10 already up until this MCP launch has always been backed by data. And that continues with the MCP. You've got over $7 billion of monthly Amazon sales that run on this data, 10 years we've been in business, 4.5 million plus brands that are covered worldwide using it. And this is all included inside of the subscription plan at the diamond level. Okay, so just In case we're going to hit that later on, this is not something that you pay for on top. It's not like an extra thing. It's just included if you've got the diamond plan. Okay. And every time your AI answers, it's going to be pulling from all of this very set data directly from Amazon over the open web. As I said, we'll cover some of the basics here because it's such a new launch. We'll just talk through what MCP is, how you can connect it, some of the workflows that you can begin testing with, and then any questions you have, just drop them in the chat. And I'm sure that Dennis or I at some point will be able to cover them either in this presentation or later on. Okay. What is MCP? This is the plain explanation. It is the secure connection that lets your AI read Helium 10 data before it answers. So instead of going in, as I said before, exporting things or putting things in or trying to pull from anything on the web, it's going to directly read Helium 10 data, okay? How it works is you can take any of your AI tools. I prefer Claude because that's what I'm using the most. I have used ChatGPT, I just prefer Claude. So you can go in, use this with the Cursor, Perplexity, Claude, etc. And you will connect the Helium 10 MCP. It's a connector. And this in turn will let you pull directly from that Helium 10 data directly inside of search. So now you don't have to export it in. It'll know where to pull from. Okay. In practice, this might look like asking where every keyword a product ranks for is, or a ranked list that will be inside of the chat within seconds, and you won't have to even switch tabs for it. How can I connect it? Great question. You're going to connect this once, and you can then just ask whatever you've got on mind about your business. You just need to be on Diamond. As I said, it's included at no extra cost, so there's nothing else to buy. You're going to add that connector once, and then you can begin asking questions. How you set this up specifically inside of Claude, because as I said, that's what I'm using. You're going to open up your profile menu, go into the left-hand paneling where your name is, and you'll select your name from that little drop-down arrow that you're seeing, okay? And when you do that, you'll be able to click Settings, go into your connectors list, which is going to be at the bottom left-hand side. I'm not sure actually if you can see my cursor, but right here on the left-hand screenshot we're looking at, bottom left, right above what it says, I can't even, plugins. Okay, right above terrible eyesight.
Connectors.
Right above plugins. Yeah, it says connectors. And then you'll be able to go in and add your connector at the top right-hand corner where it says Browse Connectors. Type in Helium 10 and then just click the plus button. And it really is that simple. It'll take you onto a web page where you can say, hey, confirm that I'm connecting this Helium 10 account to Claude, and then I'll be able to pull. Let's chat about some of the workflows that pay for themselves. So things that make this worth it, okay? Ways to put it to action, and this is just a few, you guys. I've actually been working on putting together a Claude guide recently of all the ways you can use it. I'm already up to at least 30 ways. We've got over 30 plus tools till now. We've got at least minimum 30 prompts that this definitely works with. I'm not going to cover all the ones that I've already tested. I'm just going to cover some of the top ones, right? That will definitely put money back into your pocket or time back into your pocket where you can use that resource elsewhere. Most relevant keywords, you can see the gaps. You can find your best converting keywords and back those winners. You want to double down on the things that are already working. You can catch searches that you are losing and stop the slip, get some of that momentum back, really. Spot your next product if you're trying to expand and launch new things, or maybe you're looking for your first product even. This is totally okay for that. You can optimize your size tier, so SKUs that you've already had established for quite some time, you can actually pull even more profits from. Rebuilding a listing and shipping it faster. So the recipe really for this is you can show the prompt, right? And that is for me. You can show the prompt, and I think in turn you will understand it. Okay, so spot your next product. You've got use the Helium 10 MCP to find products under 25 bucks with fewer than 200 reviews and over 1,000 monthly sales in the kitchen gadgets category. Now, I put in kitchen gadgets. You guys can do whatever you want. So say you are somebody who's a culinary artiste, you love being in the kitchen, you guys can absolutely look at kitchen gadgets. You can look at grocery items, whatever the case may be. Maybe you are into skincare. You can go in and do that. I was recently speaking with some scientists and they wanted to launch their own skincare line. They are going to be looking in the personal care and beauty category. So go in and you can ask it anything that you want from a product perspective, and it will pull from our original product research tool, which is Black Box Product Research. This is what I was talking about before, where it pulls from over 2 billion data points. So why this matters? Well, you can find your next launch with proven demand and low competition sorted by opportunity. And it really is as simple as this. You ask it a question and it'll give you a bunch of output back. Okay, sort of like a VA. You can find most relevant keywords. Ask it something along the lines of, hey, use the MCP to get every keyword these ASINs are ranking for, whether they were a top 3 clicked item with at least 1% conversion, and then compare mine against the competitors. I went in and specifically did ASINs right here, as you can see on the right-hand side, and it gave me a spreadsheet. You can even ask it to split up branded search terms if you're a little bit more advanced. This is pulling from brand registry information, actually, your brand analytics. And this will run on Cerebro reverse search, meaning say that any search term page that you were on, maybe I went in and I was looking at white marble coffee coaster cups. And what I'm looking at on that search term page, I'm focused on the ones that are getting the most clicks and what they're doing because they're doing something right from a clicks perspective. But I can use that information if I am not one of those top 3 clicks and figure out where are they getting sales. I can go in, take a look at their images. I can actually ask it to give me breakdowns of different images. What's going on with this listing versus mine? What are all the differences and that areas that I can improve on? And then you can look at the keywords here and say, yeah, these are the keywords that are converting for my competitors. I probably want to pay attention to them as well. Equally, you might want to go in and find, hey, the 2 ASINs over the last 12 months, give me the top 5 keywords that drove purchases where my conversion rate beat the market. This is pulling from your search query performance. So when it says 2 ASINs here specifically, it's referencing my own ASINs. So I can go in and find, yeah, these keywords are already driving sales for my ASINs. I want to double down on them. I've actually previously, before the MCP was even launched a few days ago, I was looking at somebody's search query analyzer. And this is a tool inside of Helium 10 where you can go in and do a similar search like this. But the difference is when I was looking at their search query analyzer, what I found is one of the keywords that was driving that where their conversion rate actually beat the rest of the market, their organic ranking for that was 109. And that means they were multiple pages down. Can you imagine if their conversion rate is way better than the rest of the market on multiple pages over, what happens if they're top of the search? Would it or would it not put more money back into their pocket? It would, right? That is the principle. And so you can go in and find visibility on the keywords that matter for you, where you might need to actually double down on. You need to actually run an exact match campaign for and get to the top of the page, or run a CPR campaign where you are making sure you're selling a certain amount of units every day for 8 days to get to the top half of page 1. That's a metric we've got inside of Helium 10 that will help you double down and rank even better for the keywords that actually matter. So you can put budget behind keywords that already convert for you, not the ones that look busy or aren't converting. You can catch searches you're losing. We've talked so far about the ones that are working for your competitors or for yourself. What about the ones where you're not doing so hot? You can analyze your search query performance from a certain period, so you can give it a time frame. I gave it June 2025 to May 2026. Flag keywords that used to drive sales but dropped, and then cross-reference keyword tracker to see where I lost organic or sponsored rank. This is even integrating multiple different tools. And these are things where when you're inside a software, you might say, oh, I've got Helium 10 tools. I know how to use those tools. It's totally fine. Yeah, absolutely. By all means, they work. I've been talking about it for the last 5 years because it works. I actually started in the Amazon space manually, doing everything manually. Then I tested some other softwares, and then finally I found Helium 10, and that's when I fell in love with it. Then I got a job at Helium 10. So it's I've been through the evolution of doing things manually and using the tools, and it still works, right? The fundamentals still work, but MCP is just there to speed things up, and you can now integrate everything in a way that you couldn't before. So you can ask it for search query performance data, analyze it. If you're inside of Seller Central, you are pulling week by week reports, month by month reports, trying to create pivot tables, figuring out the calculations. Whereas with Search Query Analyzer with Helium 10, then you're going in and able to do one-click filters and say, hey, show me all the keywords where blah, 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 blah. And then with MCP, you can take it a step further and ask it to show you where your key terms are that are converting, but the rankings have dropped in a specific time frame. So just a lot more specific. And here it's not included, but actually in my original query, I even asked it to show me my campaigns and where those keywords might be in a campaign or not in a campaign. So you can get very, very complex. I'm saying this not because I think for some of you who are maybe just in the beginning aspects of your journey, I don't say it to confuse you, but rather to show you the potential and opportunities that lie out there with what you can do with the Helium 10 MCP. More plays that are worth running, optimizing your size tier. An example of this is we've got a coffin shelf that we sell at Helium 10. I know it's super morbid. It's just simply what high demand, you guys, and we go where the money goes, right? So the coffin shelf, when I go into profitability calculator and I'm taking a look at the dimensions, if I have 8 by 8 by 9, right, and then I change it to 8 by 8 by 8, actually my profit margin sways by about $4. Okay. And so $4 per unit, say I'm selling 10 units a day, and then over the year, imagine how much profit that I could be making solely by shaving off an inch off the length, width, or height, right? And things like that are very, very simple because you can take them to your supplier and say, can you fix this? Recently, we actually were looking at a SKU and I saw it said 0.7 inch of an inch. If you can shave off 0.7 of an inch, you fall into a different size tier. And if you can shave it off, say we took that example of $4 per unit and you're making 10 units a day throughout the year, I would even say that covers, if you're not on a diamond plan, it actually covers the diamond plan and more. It puts money back into your pocket. So just something to consider. Ask if shrinking a package dimension drops you an FBA size tier and get the per unit savings and the yearly profit impact at your current sales. So you've got a better understanding of, how much more money you could be making. I think everybody likes that, hopefully. So rebuilding a listing in one go is one of the other plays that we've got on the slide. You can hand it your keyword bank and ask it to create a brand new listing for you. Get a new title, 5 bullets, backend terms, formatted to Amazon rules and ready to paste. Again, you can even provide it with additional context if you want in one query, which before you couldn't really do, right? You can't give it maybe an offline website, plus your Amazon listing page, plus your Amazon storefront, and then your keyword bank. And yeah, it pulls it all together for you in one go, providing context, things just that you couldn't do before. So I absolutely love the Helium 10 MCP. This is a steal these prompts. You guys can pause this video and zoom in if you want, screenshot it, zoom in. But this is not really different from what I just showed you. It was just written in more simple format in the previous slides. This was my original queries that I went in and I ran. Okay, so the prompt is itself what is going to get you really great outputs. You can go in and get incredible answers that will give you an action plan of what to do next. So before I close it out here, these are some things that we covered today. What is the Helium 10 MCP? It's a direct connection between AI tools like Claude and your Helium 10 data. You can ask it a question, get real keywords, listings, profit, ad data back. I've also gone in and done this for wasted ad spend, for example. So you can say, hey, check out my last 30 days of metrics for Helium 10 ads and figure out where I might have had 20 clicks but no sales and where my money is just going down the drain. It'll give you back outputs of, hey, this is what your campaigns look like. These are the terms that aren't converting for you, yada, yada, yada. So get very, very specific, guys. If there's something that you want to optimize, there's definitely a way to do it with the Helium 10 MCP. Which AI tools this works for? Claude first, I would recommend, just again, because I like to speak from confidence, from things that I've truly done myself. And I know that it's working really, really well with Claude. I've used ChatGPT as well. You can use this with Cursor, Perplexity, other tools that support it. Do you pay extra? No, my friends, this is included with Diamond. But as I said before, even if you are debating, let's say you're not on Diamond, I would just consider because you can do really complex things that you otherwise wouldn't be able to do. And sometimes the money that it actually can locate for you, for example, through size tier optimization, is well worth it. It's going to return back way more. It's going to pay off your Diamond subscription anyways. Is it safe to connect? Yes. Read only through a secure connection so the AI can see your data, but it can't change it. Does it work on lower plans? Nope. It needs Diamond. And isn't this the same as just exporting info in? No, it is not, because with MCP, again, you can integrate multiple tools into one, ask it complex questions, receive simple answers all in one thread. Again, it's much like having a virtual assistant. Anything you wanted to ask before to say Google, oh, I wish I had a Google for my business. You do, it's AI, but now it pulls directly from Helium 10 data. So with that, this is your data, your AI working together. Just make sure you guys get on Diamond. You add Helium 10's connector, and then you ask your first question, because seeing is believing, and I think the product really speaks for itself. MCP, since it is included with Diamond, if you don't have it, you can grab it through Yanis's link. Okay. So I don't know if you want to add something or if you've got particular questions for me, but I'm happy to chat through anything else that you might have in mind for your audience.
Yeah, I will post this record to YouTube, to my YouTube, and if any questions, I think we can answer those questions. I already tried MCP, and I'm excited. Everything I do manually, I can do through the chat. And how many tools are connected?
All of the tools should actually be about to work through Helium 10 MCP.
With MCP, you really can ask anything you want to know about your account and about your numbers, about your business. Yeah, and the first thing I would recommend to start, it's ask Claude how many tools you are connected and how I can use such a tools. Claude can explain you how you can use those tools which are connected through MCP. Thank you, Shivali. It's a great pleasure to be and to use such a great tool. I'm a huge fan of Helium 10. I think about 10 years. I start about 10 years ago, and I start working with Helium 10 from the beginning.
Wow, you're an OG, like a proper OG. You've been around
a lot of tools. The most favorite tools is Cerebro. There is no analogs on the market. Yeah, and now with MCP, it's very simple to understand.
Definitely.
How to improve. Your business with the numbers.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. I think Cerebro is also one of my long-time standing favorites, especially because of the historical feature and like the amount of data you can pull. Because I think data is everything when you're in business. You're not trying to reinvent the wheel, right? You're trying to go in and actually see what's working and just improve on it and continue to optimize. That's how you get up to the next level. I think more recently, Search Query Analyzer has been my favorite. I was talking to a different seller, and he attributes $100,000 solely to that one tool, because he was doing one of the prompts that I showed earlier in this presentation about where are your keywords that are actually converting higher than the rest of the market. And he actually goes in and he does that every single week. And even in doing that, he was able to find keywords where he's just doing significantly better. He's got a larger business as well, like many, many SKUs. And if he goes in and he optimizes with that, then he takes a look at the keyword tracker and the ads. And that's why I showed it, is because with MCP, I mean, we've always had great products. I think you know that better than anyone. Even me, I'm less of an OG than you, and I still love the products. But I get really excited about MCP because it's the first time that the integration is just so like together, and you can ask it really complex things, get really simple outputs. So I think anybody can do it. If you guys are watching and you're brand new to AI, I definitely think it's worth visiting and learning this specifically, because it will put back so much time and money. And I definitely think it's well worth it.
Yeah, it's very convenient, and I tried to connect to Claude, and also tried to connect to GPT, and Claude is more convenient.
Yeah, for sure.
Claude. Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Bye bye.